Sean Franklin
and Nicole Smith
from Blood and Iron Martial Arts.
We're here today to talk to you about using the half sword. So, what is half swording?
Despite what you may be thinking, it is not, in fact, using a broken sword.
Half swording is a method of sword fighting where you use your offhand to grab the blade.
Yes, you can grab a sharp sword. If you're skeptical, I encourage you to check out our video on the subject. The first thing that comes to mind when you see this is probably, why?
Even the most novice sword fighter knows, the handle's where you're supposed to put your hands.
The half sword shines in situations where your regular cuts just don't cut it anymore.
Like when your opponent steps in close. It is really hard to throw cuts from this distance.
And they could be wearing armor. Swords don't cut armor.
When using the half sword, it can act more like a spear. It can give you increased control and power in your thrust, which is really important when you're targeting gaps in your opponent's armor. Half swording can work really well, especially if you're closing distance.
Notice how the leverage of my offhand allows me to complete a thrust I normally wouldn't have been able to.
Even with the extra leverage, sometimes your opponent can still take your point offline if they throw their weight against it. Fortunately, we have an answer for that. The half sword also offers an opportunity to use the sword as a hook or a lever.
Speaking of hooks and levers, this is a great way to execute a throw.
Once they're on the ground, it's a really great way to explore holes in their armor.
Be careful when trying to execute these devices. Even with a small amount of force, this is extremely unpleasant.
Surprise, surprise, grabbing a blade is not as crazy as it sounds.
As you may have gathered, half swording acts kind of a lot like a spear. There's a lot of overlap in techniques, and we've only showed you a very small sample of what you can do.
But for now, we hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit more about what sword fighting actually look like.
The
half sword
also
offers opportunity to use the sword
as
a
hook
or Who's your idea?
You will be my dad.